when we start intermediate and advanced concepts, things are not easy anymore. There are times that we will come face to face with problems that we can't solve by referring back to the tutorials, and we don't know how to process forward. At these times, we go back and ask questions. However, sometimes we don't get answers at all. And at the same time, we see other people are getting their answers very fast. Now, what is the problem there? How should I present my case? What info people need to answer my question? What if I don't understand the answer that people are giving me? What if no one answered me after all the efforts and time? Now, I will present my own case at the end of the video as an example of how I did something that got answered. Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza. Welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. This video is dedicated to people who are struggling in their code for very first few times, and finally they want to start asking questions in Discord channel. If you are an old member of this community and are asking for questions constantly, or you are one of those helping hands, then you don't need to watch this video. Keep in mind, everything that I say is my personal experience and opinion, and some people may not agree with what I say in this video. Here's a question. Why some people never get answers in the chat room? Here's the question I should ask. Do you ask properly? Here's an example of a starting question in a chat. Why doesn't Minecraft load my custom animations? They are in the right folder. They are in resources, mod name, animation, file name, .animation.json. This is not a very productive question. How would I know what you are trying to do? And here's a question. What is the animation itself? And is it on an entity or a block or what? This is not producing enough information. Take note, the first question was asked at 8:55 in my local time PM. 4 minutes later, the guy is asking another question. Console says, could not load animation blah. Is it missing? 3 minutes later, why is my Minecraft unable to find any assets? Like it's forever locked in a loop. I carefully followed up the chat room from this moment forward. Even after a day and a half, no one had answered this question. What was the problem here? There was lack of information. No one knew what he was really doing. Also, there can be a timeline difference. It's not like everyone in the chat room knows the answers. Some people may know the answer, some people may not know the answer, and those who know the answer may be offline right now. And finally, not the correct question to ask. Sometimes people think that they are asking the correct question. However, they are not doing it. This is why you won't get answers. And if you didn't get answers, please don't spam in the chat to get answers at all. Why do some people get answers very fast? In this example, two people are talking to each other. The blue guy is asking, the red guy is answering, and the whole question and answer happened in 4 minutes. First of all, the question can be just a general concept. And when it comes to general concepts, many people know the answer, so they will answer very fast. And another example is that when you are giving so much information that clarifies everything just in the first question, and someone is presented in the chat room right then that understands the whole concept and can answer you very fast. These situations most of the time are not a really complex situations. They are just newbie questions and people can help. So bottom line is that many people know the answer and the timeline difference is correct at the time. Okay, here is the question. How should I present my case? Let's say that we are a newbie programmer, we encountered a problem and we don't know how to ask the question. First of all, explain what you want to do in general. Don't ask a very specific question. Just give the information. Hey, I want to do this. Then produce as much information as possible. For example, if you have an error log, produce that error log with the full stack trace. Lots of times you will see some people ask a question and give out a single line of that error log. In some special cases, people are professionals and they are just confused or tired or this is new to them and they know exactly which line in the stack trace is helpful. If you are a newbie, you don't have that experience, so please produce the whole log file of errors stack trace so that people can understand the whole problem. Also, if you are a newbie, make sure that you made your project a repository, a public repository, and give the link about the project inside your question. When you produce these two, the error logs and the repository, people can track the errors and see if any particular line of code is causing the error in your repository. They can immediately open the repository, read the code, and they understand the situation faster. The faster they understand the situation, the faster they can help you. Explain how and when the problem happens. Sometimes we get the problem at build time. Sometimes we get the problem at starting the game. These are common cases. However, sometimes things happen only when we do some special thing in the game. Explain it step by step so that people can reproduce the problem. Ask for help politely. You don't own people. So if people are understanding in their own way and answering in their own way, and you don't like the answer or you don't understand the answer, or you are one of those people who don't like questioning and answering and you just need a piece of code to get things done, don't be harsh. Be very polite. The helping people are not get paid providing their help. And be patient. People may not be online. Sometimes it takes 10 hours, 12 hours for the helping hand to get online, and he may want to scroll the whole chat and see what he was missing. And sometimes they are so busy that they don't do it. But as soon as you see someone helpful that is online and helping someone, then you would want to ask your question from that person. Just wait until he fixes the very first issue that he is dealing with right now. When the whole thing was done, then present your question to that guy or girl. And again, wait and be patient. Don't spam, and especially don't ping them, don't PM them without asking for permission. After asking the question, chances are that if the guy knows the answer, he will start helping you. Use proper sections of Discord for question. Now we will talk about this in a few minutes. Don't rush things. Now, what info people need to help me? It depends on the question. Sometimes the question is a general question, then the question itself is enough. Sometimes it's about theoretic concepts, then the question is enough. Sometimes it's about recipes or data gen or mixing or I don't know, some special coding concepts, then you need to give some special information. At some point, you may even need to present some other things other than the repository and the log file. In general, having the repository on GitHub and presenting it is helpful. When it comes to rendering and animation, screenshots may be needed. Even you may need to present some small video recording to show the problem. The full text of the error log is always a necessity to be provided. The steps that you took to cause the error is a necessity. After that, if you tried to fix the error and failed, it's helpful to present those steps you took and how it failed to people. Detailed explanation of what you want to achieve in theory as a general concept is always helpful. Now, where to ask the questions? It depends. Does your information make a wall of words? Or is your question a small question and can be solved really fast with few questions and answers? If that's the first case, ask in the forum section of the Discord channel. If it's the second section, we have dedicated rooms for dedicated topics like Gradle, Kotlin, mixing, rendering, word gen, or if it's not one of these topics, We have Mod Dev 1 and Mod Dev 2 for general questions. Now, what if I didn't understand the answers? Well, first of all, don't rush to ask another question. Reread the answers. Look into vanilla code for examples with that answer as a guideline. Look into any third-party repository that may help you with those guidelines that you got from the answer as a help. If none of that helped, continue with more questions. Be precise with what part of the help you didn't understand. And finally, don't be ashamed if you are asking too much. If you are following these guidelines, people will help no matter how many times you try to understand things better. Finally, what if no one did answer me? First of all, people may not know the answer. The question may be so complex that people presented in the room don't know the answer. First things you need to do is to dive into vanilla as much as possible. Put time and effort there. If the vanilla didn't help too much, or if you don't know where to look into the vanilla, start reading the wiki pages with deep concentration. Read Java docs very carefully. And if none of that was helpful, that is unlikely, don't give up. At this time, the only approach remaining for you is to do try and error. With enough time and tries, you may solve your problem. You may not solve it, but you may have some progress. And if you had some progress, that is the time to continue this whole questioning and answering inside the forums with giving enough information about the process you had made and the problems you still have. Now, here is an example of myself encountering a problem. I had a working code in 1.20 about custom recipes. Custom recipes was new to me, so I followed a video tutorial out there. However, things changed in 1.21 drastically, and the changes was happening in codec section, and I was confused and I didn't know where to start looking for the solution. And this is my first post inside the forum pages. However, before asking this question, I did my own research with try and error for a whole day. After a whole day of doing research and trying, I thought to myself, okay, I'm not getting anywhere. So I uploaded the whole repository, updated the repository, and sent this post. After sending the post, I waited for 2 hours, making sure that if there is someone online and following the forums, he would see my question and he may help. At that point, I sent the link of the forum post inside the chat only once because I thought that, okay, people may be online, but they may not follow the forum section. Let's see if they can help me now. And at that time, I continued my personal research, waiting for help for 6 hours. After 6 hours, again, I sent a single link into the chat room asking for help. And that was when I got a minimal answer as a help. However, take note, this person is answering each question of mine very precisely with minimal info possible. Before I dive into and bother the guy about these answers, I used these lines as a guideline and dived into vanilla myself, trying to figure each line of his answer. And God knows, I think I read that post for 10 times, line after line, until I understood some sections and tried to follow vanilla on some other sections. At the end, I got some progress. At that time, I had a new problem. I had the custom recipe, but the recipe was not working. So I went into the chat room, gave information about my progress, and presented the new case of the progress. Someone got online and helped me with debugging that problem, and apparently I had problems in 2 new places in my code, and it was solved, and the whole case was closed. This can be a good example of how you can process with your problems forward. Please take note, this was my personal experience during these years, And these guidelines may be just a starting point, or maybe you knew the whole thing. But I hope that it helped someone out there.
If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone. Bye.